women fell over themselves to get with Elvis. While most people are familiar with Priscilla and Elvis' relationship, many are unaware of the other women Elvis shared his time with. Here are a few women who got lucky and made it with the king. Early girlfriend Dixie. Locke went to the prom with Elvis. They dated for a long time and even talked about marriage. She liked him because most boys are like their dads, but Elvis was different. The first time her family met him, her uncle offered him $2 to get him a haircut. June. When Nico first met Elvis in June 1955 after he saw her in the crowd at one of his concerts. They had an incredibly innocent 1950s relationship. On one occasion when they got close to having full-blown sex, they were saved by his mom, Gladys. While Elvis was dating girls in Hollywood, June met a local man and got engaged. In March 1957, Elvis asked June to meet him at Union Station in New Orleans, where he had to change trains. He told her he had something to show her and she needed to go with him. She told him she couldn't, but she loved him and now she was getting married. Elvis cried as she walked away, and the next day, June read, "Elvis buys Graceland." Elvis dated Natalie Wood, whom hung out with James Dean. She found the non-drinking, non-smoking Elvis refreshing. She called him the high school boy she never dated. Anita Wood was a Memphis DJ and the hostess of TV's Top 10 Dance Party when she met Elvis. They were pretty serious for a long time and she wrote him a lot of letters while he was in the army. Priscilla wasn't happy. She also recorded a song on the Sun record label called "Awake Forever." Debra Paget was Elvis's co-star in Love Me Tender. Accounts vary as to whether or not they dated. She dug her nails in years later by saying he was too much backwards. On vacation in Vegas, Elvis briefly dated Tempest Storm. Tempest was a stripper who brought out Elvis's romantic side. He once said to her, "I'm as horny as a billy goat in a pepper patch. I'll race you to bed." Dolores Hart was Elvis's co-star in Loving You and King Creole. He called her Hot Lips after acting a kissing scene in Hot New Orleans. She said he was charming but unrefined, like a young animal. Shortly afterwards, Dolores entered a convent. Within days of arriving in Germany, Elvis began to date a local girl called Margaret Bergen, whom he met in a park. She had been placed there by a photographer, whom hoped Elvis would fancy her because she looked like Brigitte Bardot. In a letter to his friend Alan Fortas, Elvis described his relationship with Margaret as Grind City. Elizabeth Stefaniuk was a young fan who met Elvis at the cinema and became his secretary at Bad Nauheim. She fell in love with him and often shared his bed, but not, to her regret, exclusively. Barbara Lee, who was best known for her cult role in Vampirella, dated Elvis for 2 years, while she also dated Steve McQueen. And Margaret was Elvis's co-star in Viva Las Vegas. She was nicknamed the female Elvis Presley by the press. They fell in love and had a red-hot affair. Elvis's friends thought she was great for him and Elvis loved her because she wasn't smitten by his fame. Elvis would always go over to her house, which had never happened with Elvis before. The woman would always go to see Elvis, and made the mistake of talking about their affair, and so Elvis dumped her. They remained great friends till the day he died. Elvis briefly dated the actress Joan Blackman. He wooed her by driving up to her on the Paramount lot and yelled, "Hey, you! Come here." It worked. Elvis and Nancy Sinatra were almost lovers, but never quite. They starred together in Speedway and made out in his trailers, but the one time he kissed her, he pulled away quickly and apologized. She later shared her memories of the small kiss. "I thought I was going to die." Elvis had a relationship with Kathy Westmoreland, the soprano he always introduced on stage as the little girl with the beautiful high voice. He read to her and recited poetry. Elvis dated fellow Memphian Sybil Shepherd for a short while. They met in the cinema and she smelled him before she saw him. He wasn't wearing strong perfume, it was just the aura of Elvis walking into the room. The affair is best remembered for her revelation that burgers wasn't the only thing Elvis loved to eat. Elvis met Linda Thompson in 1972 when he went to the cinema. She had just become Miss Tennessee and completely bowled Elvis over. For a whole year they were together 24/7, and she lost her virginity to him, but it soon broke down. Linda finally left him in November 1976. She loved and cared for him in his worst times, but without knowing that Elvis only had a few months to live, she just couldn't cope anymore. Elvis met Ginger Alton in November 1976. She was Miss Mid-South and looked uncannily like Priscilla. They argued a lot, but Elvis soon asked her to marry him, and although she was too young and had no idea what she was getting herself into, she said yes. It was Ginger who found Elvis's body on August 16, 1977. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.